My name's Lionel, and I'm your host of LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today we are covering Heart and Hustle Houston. This is Season 2, Episode 5. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also subscribe and leave your comments below. Let's get into this week's episode. Okay, y'all. Okay, so we begin the episode with Chloe and Latoria. They're looking for space to record their podcast that they're going to be hosting together. And they were discussing what topics that they would be discussing. Grief, children, having more children, people that are desiring to have children and haven't as of yet, and dating. After that, they began to discuss Chloe and Jordan's relationship. At this point, they are working on, well, at least with Jordan, working on reestablishing trust within the relationship. He's been staying at her house. That I don't know if what that got to do with the trust, but okay. But also, Chloe says that he's been accountable. Now, outside of that, what you know as far as him having someone else who had the passcode to his home, is there any other things that he has not been accountable for, Chloe? That's what I'm wondering. Because you guys say stuff, but I just don't feel like I get the whole picture. And yes, this is a 42-minute reality show, and you can't get everything. For my liking, I just prefer to know a little bit more in regards to this relationship. Of course, you all just know how I feel about it, because it's just like, Latoria's like, oh, well, they seem to be just moving past this whole cheating situation, because when you showed up this season, you said, he cheated. And then a couple episodes later, you said, I unblocked you from everything. All because he was sick with the flu. And the next thing you know, y'all are having some type of picnic. Anyways, Chloe is thinking about having more children. She's 45. And her and Jordan don't have a lot of time. And mostly because of Chloe. I mean, she's at the age of where her clock is ticking. And of course, this is Jordan. He's still young. And if he plans to spend his life, with Chloe, this is his only really shot to go on and get it in, so he could have his own biological children. She says that she knows that marriage is coming soon, and this is when Latoria was like, "Okay, you like it? I love it, I guess." Because it just seems so interesting at how you guys have been able to overcome this hurdle. A lot of people will just be so arrogant and prideful. Oh, we've grown. We was able to. Not when he was just crying to his mama a couple of episodes ago. He just left. I don't know. It seems interesting that you're ready to get married to a man that you did admit that he needs to grow leaps and bounds as far as emoting. And you don't need to be in a relationship where you feel alone, no matter how good the D is. Because you're still going to be lonely. Chloe gave an update between her son, Nico, and Jordan. Now, Nico hadn't been seeing it for Jordan and all that good stuff. One time, I guess now that Jordan's coming over, Nico had been there. And if you could have had a pin drop, excuse me, it was quite silent in there. However, one of the children, the other girls, told her mom, Nico and Jordan are there. It's awkward. Anyways, long story short, Nico ended up saying, hey, to Jordan. And that hadn't been a thing. So I said, okay, there's some breakthrough. We'll see what happens there. But I already said how I feel about all that, and I'm not going to rehash it again until I get pissed off. So, Chloe and Jordan, don't piss me off. Okay, so we are at Labrina's place. And it's her daughter's Winter's birthday. I think she's 4. Did she say 4? Anyways, the whole theme is pink. It's the same color that Labrina loves. Anyways, Chloe and her girls show up. Minura and her daughters and Norman showed up. And Dr. Ashley, the one that we saw in the last week's episode. I believe that she's a friend of the show, along with being the friend of Labrina's. And also connected to Chloe. But we'll get to that in just one second. I will note that Elena is missing. And she was missing from the whole episode. Elena, if you needed this time to process things and to fight things out, it would have been best if you said, I'm out this season. I understand the drama, but there's been some non-dramatic moments that I think that you could have been a part of, despite your, excuse me, y'all, I'm yawning, despite your boundaries, and I don't think it's fair. I don't understand why you're in the opening credits, and all we are just seeing a scene here and there talking about your divorce, your pending divorce, and how happy you are. I don't think that's fair. And I love you, but I don't think it's fair. So anyways, about how Dr. Ashley is connected to Chloe. It's through her in-laws. That's who she's connected to as far as all that. I said, okay, cool. There was a gift of the four-wheeler for Miss Winter. There were some jokes that were made and all that. The ladies, they talk about Labrina's event. Again, it just comes up in regards to Labrina needed more space. Labrina knew that she didn't follow her first mind. By Wednesday of that time frame of when selling out, excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. She should have cut it off. But she extended it and extended it, and that's why all them folks came. And it was talked about with Ashley that she had heard that Latoya was upset about paying for $22 for a lemon drop. Now, I've never heard of a $22 shot. But, hey, it ain't my money. But I don't even think that if I, how can I say this? If I had the money, am I still wasting all this money? Especially when I know where I can get it cheaper at. Anyways, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Okay, Latoya's at her father's home, and Felicia, she comes over. I forgot her role and title and all of that. I didn't write it down. At this point, they are going to sell the home. She's there for support. At this point in her life, Latoya has really been on pause in a way and had to dip in the savings in order to save her father's home and to get everything, you know, as far as there's a lot of expenses that need to be paid for. Just because people are dead don't mean that bills are dead. That's not what it means. So she's had to dip in her savings a lot. And that could be a lot on a person. But anyways, Latoya was just letting us know as to she remembers coming into the home and going into his bedroom and finding him there. And that's a memory that's kind of just it's in her mind. But anyways, long story short, they put the for sale sign up. She got emotional, and she said, "I know that that's probably not something that a typical person would be like this, but it's just another step of saying to my father goodbye." And that's a lot to actually take in and accept. So I get it. I get it, Latoya. All right, so Ro, she goes out with her mom, her sisters, and Herman. Herman is Ro's stepdad, but she doesn't even call him stepdad. She don't even like that. He's dad. Now remember, on last week or the week before, Ro already told us that she doesn't have a relationship with her father. But anyways, Mr. Herman has been taking care of her since at a very, very, very young age. Anyways, so Ro and Mr. Herman, they have their own talk, and it's about her baby's father, or Sophia's father. We seen a picture, and oh, yeah. Ro, you didn't have any type of decision making in regards to making Sophia. That is his daughter. But she talks about the incident where she was really not willing to let the daughter speak to the father because of how he wanted to talk to her. However, she still doesn't want any type of she doesn't want to prohibit her daughter if she still wants to have a relationship. Of course, she did what she did, changed her number and all that, but hey, It's really up to her on what she wants. Herman gave advice, because Ro was talking about dating and all that. And she was like, I think I really need to get things together with my baby daddy before I can even move on. And he was Mr. Herman agreed with that. Yeah, you don't need to carry any of that with you. It's going to be part of a blocker for you in regards to that. So he suggested that she has a conversation with the father. But then she's like, we gotta have an adult conversation. I can't cuss him out or nothing. He's like, no. So there's gonna be a group event, pickleball. This is not directed at anyone. What I am upset about is that it seems like on every show now, it's pickleball and sound baths. Like, can we be more creative? Again, this is a knock towards this show because all I see is that that's the trend. There has to be something else out there for y'all to do. So, do better, y'all. Anyways, Ro, Latoria, Manera, Ashley, and Ashley show up. Yeah, but later on, Chloe does show up. I do remember that. And Chloe and Labrina, she also shows up too. They come in matching outfits. Oh, but anyways, they had a little joke about that. It was cool. Someone brings up about accepting new friends within this friend group. Da 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 da. Latoya, what's gonna say? Oh, yes, Labrina and Chloe, they had on the same outfit. And then also Manura, she peeped that Latoria and Labrina were in a better place where they are actually enjoying each other. And Manura says, I love to see it. And we do too. So after they get done with everything, the group kind of splits up. Latoria and Ashley are sitting next to each other. And Latoria took this opportunity to Ashley took this opportunity to hand Latoria a lemon. We find out what it's for. She says a little birdie told her that Latoria was complaining about the drinks and all of that. She said, no, I didn't really complain. I had an issue because I thought that this was part of the package deal, basically. So it's getting quite confusing right now because it's like, Ashley, you sitting up here, who you are, a businesswoman, could have asked her straight up, hey, what's up? I get that you're on TV. I get that you're trying to make a moment for yourself. However, this really it? Like, you just showed up. Like, you just rung the doorbell and somebody told you to come in. I'd make better choices. I don't care who I'm supposed to be so riding for. Be smart about all the stuff that you're doing right now. Especially since you just got in this group. Latoya brings up that, not Little Birdie O'Neill. No. Latoya says that she wasn't upset about it. It was about, oh, I didn't know that was supposed to be a part of it. No. Anyway, I think I said that already. She thought it was a complimentary thing. When she found out about that, that's how she reacted in the heat of the moment. Labrina, Ashley. Oh, so basically they were able to squash this stuff and able to find common ground between grief. Ashley was saying, I think I was just feeling away because of the stuff that was happening to me that day, because she ended up losing her grandmother. She talked about her feelings and the process and all of that good stuff. And Latoya says, in her confessional, I like her and all that. It wasn't anything that difficult that you couldn't really get over. Now, Ro gonna have a different perspective on the thing, and I can't say that I disagree with her. Labrina, Chloe, and Ashley, they go out. Ashley was asked, how was she doing, and and how did she like the group and all that. She said, well, I didn't get to speak to everyone at Labrina's event, and it's good at this time that I was able to kind of just be able to get my feet wet and all of that with most of the ladies. I felt like the biggest stranger to me is Ro. In the confessionals, we would get as to what Mo's MO is, and just frankly, all this stuff I can't really do at this point, as far as with the boss that I have. But anyways, Labrina turns out to be the verdict. And the complaint, she says that Latoya had the complaint, but it was more like a question. Basically, why am I paying all this when I paid you this amount of money and I still got to pay for this drink, and then the drink got to have the audacity to be as big and huge as that is? It's just a drop. So you didn't want me to purchase something at that price? Absolutely not. Manura, Ro, and Latoya, they go out to eat. Latoya is talking about Ashley, and Ro wanted to get the aspects of everything. Now, she's already not feeling Ashley or anyone. She does not want anyone new in the group. We just were able to get some type of resolve within our group. And now we're bringing someone else in, and it's a no-no. So, Ro ended up saying, did she ask, or did she just go by what somebody had told her? Latoya says she didn't ask. It was just basically she's going off of whatever someone told her. And Ro said, no, she's being petty. Because why would you come in here with some lemon and all that? For what and for why? Again, this was a business thing, and I just don't understand why Ashley didn't just come to Latoya. That she didn't just flop herself on the couch. So it wasn't handled in the right way. However, Latoya and Ashley are doing much better. Manura did say that she doesn't think that Chloe shouldn't. Basically, we should be robots. Chloe, it wasn't your business, so I don't even know why you're talking and inserting yourself. Ro said, look, we're within this friend group. The friend group was fractured, and we just got back on good standing. I don't know why anyone would want any mess right now, especially how fragile everything is and how it's still new and fresh right now. Okay, we're almost done now. Ro is basically just letting us know that I'm a part of this friend group, and I don't want to see any more dissension right now. We've been through enough. Now, I have no clue why Ashley started talking about Ro. If she's a stranger, then what in the world are you picking at and reading? Because Ro ain't said nothing about you. It just seems like everything is manufactured for you to get on the show. And that's not good. Okay, so we're on the last scene. Chloe is talking with her daughters. She did ask, are you okay with Jordan coming over? And they say no. And they gave their reasons why. The reason really is that they didn't get to really sleep with their mom. There are times where they get to sleep with her, and then this was just closed off. They talked about, the door was closed, and da-da-da-da-da. And Chloe said, parents and adults, they do shut doors and all that stuff. But she said, you usually leave it open. One of them said. So she brings up the topic of Jordan in marriage. How would she feel about that? One of the daughters said that she's not ready at this point. She's not saying that Jordan is a bad person, but right now it's just, I'm not feeling it. Noah said the same thing. They said that one of them said, if you actually get married right now, I know that I won't be able to sleep with you and all that, da 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 da. And that Jordan takes up a lot of her time. That is interesting to me. I hope you actually listen to that, Khloe. They say that they don't want the ending the decision right now is that they don't want Jordan to be their dad. He can't replace them and all, replace their dad that they did lose or whatever. It's a hard balance, Khloe. They're at an age where they don't really understand certain things. The only thing I can suggest is that you got to keep working at it, balance it. One of them said that you're not spending enough time with them, and you're spending a lot of time with Jordan. And it's too bad that you didn't check in before this time. But hey, this is what it is. Khloe, you got some major decisions to make in regards to all this. You're going to have to rejuvenate. You're going to have to reassess and do something else in this whole situation. Not rejuvenate, but that's all I got, y'all. Y'all please let me know what you thought of this episode. Please like, comment, subscribe. And until the next one, peace.